in a bit.
Well, hello, y'all. It's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. It is good to see all y'all again. You see Patrick with me, and I hope everybody, and I'm sure Patrick agrees with me when I say this, but we hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. Everybody was safe, taking care of each other,
Absolutely.
and now let's make the new year a good one, and hopefully what we went through will make all of us stronger and tougher for it, and then we'll come out better on the other side. So let's start that process together. And Patrick, we are going to start with the college football playoff semifinals, and then we will give our picks for the championship game coming up on Monday night. So um
Sorry, man. I
Bama,
gave you some ribs, bro. I effed them up, bro.
was there some spice in them or what?
Oh, I don't know what they were. I was too busy eating to care.
Good,
So
good, good,
I
good
can still
thing.
taste it in my mouth no matter how much tea I drink. So good.
So, so while Patrick is trying to deal with the barbecue paste,
Oh, I'm ready. Bring it.
I'll I'll just we know it's gonna be Alabama and Georgia being in the national championship game. Second time in 4 years they have met in the championship game. And in essence, for you Big Ten fans out there, how does it feel to have another SEC championship game in y'all backyard? Because because championship game is in Indianapolis. So take that with your Big Ten fans.
Hey, we just gonna
But
bring up some Southern hospitality up to the north and show you what we're about down here. And you'll see the reason why Texas and Oklahoma bringing it over. You're gonna see the reason why Cincinnati is coming to the Big 12. You're gonna see why everybody's coming south. That's the reason why. Bad.
so,
Awesome.
so the games with so Alabama, they kind of dominated Cincinnati, kind of a workmanlike performance. They just ran the ball and just pretty much choked the game out, more or less. Brian Robinson, 240 yards rushing, and then uh, Bryce Young just made the plays when he had to, and then the defense shut down Desmond Ritter and company. And then in the Georgia Michigan game, what Georgia was just more physical on each side of the ball than Michigan was. Georgia just controlled it, both lines of scrimmage. And I think these two games just prove where there's a gap between Alabama, Georgia, and the rest of the teams right now, at least for this year. So, Patrick, I, is there is there anything that really stuck out to you about these games except for Bama and Georgia being dominant?
Dominant the way they were. Yeah, there's actually a few things that I wanted to bring up because so kudos to Cincinnati for making it into the playoffs. But I want to go a step further. Yes, Alabama did dominate that game, but give a lot of credit to Cincinnati. That defense, they did their best. They held Alabama to 24 points or 27 points. They held Alabama to 27 points, which you have to understand in this era of where Alabama is at. They are used to scoring 40 points. Yes, I get it. I understand what Alabama was
What's up,
trying to
Dominic?
do. What's
Sorry.
up? What's up, Don? I know what Alabama was trying to do. They're trying to hold possession of the ball and just choke out the game, like you said, and that's what they did. But give this Cincinnati defense some credit. They showed up. I mean, to me, if you look at what Cincinnati brought to Alabama and Michigan brought to Georgia, Cincinnati was even a better team than Michigan, and they were. Um, a few big plays, and Cincinnati could have been in that game in the fourth quarter. I'm just saying. Um, I think that it was a different game that Nick Saban had to bring. He had to bring a slow paced game and not this shooting out of a cannon trying to score as many points as you can. Because I just don't think that would have slowed Cincinnati down, truthfully. And what slowed them down is the fact that they could not move the ball. They were never able to get any kind of continuity on the offense. And truthfully, I think that's actually what beat Cincinnati the most out of that is Alabama's ball control, and they knew that. Nick Saban knew that, and he knew that they were not going to score a lot of points. They were going to have to beat Cincinnati in a different way, and they dominated that game based on that mentality coming in because Cincinnati, I tip my hat, they played a hell of a game. They did. And for them to be as inferior to Alabama and even Georgia, I definitely think that Cincinnati played a much better game against Alabama than Michigan did to Georgia. And then Georgia, that Michigan game, I told people, I kept saying, I just don't think Michigan brought their A game. And I have been told by many people, no, they brought their A game. It's just Georgia was that much better. I was like, I don't see it, but I started looking back at it and I was like, it might be that Georgia just was that much better. I didn't want to believe that because you know how I told you, even in the webcast, I said, if Georgia brings that game that they brought against Alabama, Michigan's going to run all over them. They didn't, thank God they didn't, but you got to give Georgia some dang credit on that one. They came out dominant on that one. So
yeah, Kirby Smart, Dominic. I did see how
yes,
Kirby Smart was throwing oranges. That was
dude. The best thing that I saw was when they picked up that Gatorade and Kirby Smart went, no.
Yep.
No.
No
And
Gatorade. No. You know.
Dude, they had the shock, the biggest shock on their face. He goes, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then turned around. I was like, that's a man on a mission right there, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
congratulations to Alabama and congratulations to Georgia for winning those. And let's take it up north and see another SEC championship game. SEC championship game. Yeah.
Basically, just for the national championship this time, right?
Yeah. And hopefully we can get it out of this one. Fourth time's a charm.
Cincinnati, yeah, this is not an indictment towards Cincinnati. And you're going to hear your people say, oh, I told you Cincinnati was going to be overmatched, blah, blah, blah. This is why a group of 5 teams shouldn't be in there. No, man, Cincinnati can play with pretty much anybody in the nation. I think Cincinnati is that good. Cincinnati they're undersized up front, which is going back to your point about what Nick Saban knew going into this matchup. So I had told he said, Dominic's like, we're not going to look on the back of your chair. So he said, so with Cincinnati being undersized, I remember talking to I'm Bear, of course, big Alabama fan, of course, LSU fan. But
Alabama fan.
But I felt Brian Robinson could have a big game because of Cincinnati's undersized on the defensive line, and they play like a 3-3-5 type of defense. And that is just hard to stop a team like Bama, who has a big offensive line, who can still go back to that, will run the ball, smash mouth type of style. And when Brian Robinson was getting, 8-9 yards a carry, I just said, oh man, Cincinnati's going to have to start bringing some blitzes. And they never really blitzed more. I guess if there's one thing that I would have wanted to see more from Cincinnati, it's just to be a little bit more aggressive. I understand kind of being conservative with the game plan and stuff, but look, if someone's gashing you in the run like that,
you got to take it away.
Yeah, well, blitz it.
Anyway.
Blitz it. Yeah, you got to do something. But Cincinnati, like I said, they can play with anybody. I think Cincinnati is a good team.
Well, you have to give Cincinnati credit on that. The 3-3-5 is what got them to where they were at. So they were sticking to their guns on that, and you got to give them credit for that. But at the same time, you also got to know that if your opponent is running the ball down your throat, it might not be a bad idea to maybe even bring another person up and just ask your corners, hey, I know this is a big ask, but hey, you're gonna have to go one-on-one. We're dropping the 5. We're putting it 4-3 and run a 4-3 and see if that helps, because that extra person could help. But I don't know if I don't know if that would have worked because, truthfully, when you watch Cincinnati play all season, they stuck to their 3-3-5. But I mean, a 4-3 might have done better, but I don't know if they even had the personnel for that. So I do say that Cincinnati team, they did what they were supposed to do, and it's just they ran into a bigger, better team.
Yeah, it might not have worked, but you got to try it. And I mean, I think just to kind of throw just a change up. Sometimes you got to kind of go through and make changes and make those adjustments accordingly. And you know how it is, especially with these coaches these days, when you're talking about guys like Nick Saban, they're like game specific, man. And they'll sit there and they'll just look at these matchups and they'll just say, well, all right, they got good corners, because Cincinnati had 2 very good corners as well. So they just said, well, you know what? We got an advantage. All right, man, we're just going to physically mash them. And then that's what they were able to do. And that's basically what you saw with Georgia and Michigan, man. I just think Georgia looked angry. They looked really, really motivated. They were embarrassed in the SEC championship game by Alabama. I mean, the defense,
a practically at home game.
Yeah. And I mean, they had a bad taste in their mouths because of that. And now what you're going to have is the situation going to the national championship game. Before we give our predictions here, you have a situation where, Dominic, he mentions that Stetson Bennett. Look, to me, it's about coaching, Patrick. It is all about coaching here. I don't think there's no big time talent discrepancy. I mean, both of these teams, we know they're rich in talent. We know that. Both have skill position players out the wazoo. I mean, tight ends ridiculous, defense is ridiculous. Alabama has Will Anderson on that line, ridiculous. And then Jordan Davis for Georgia. I mean, Carter, all those dudes, Nakobe Dean running all over the place. He reminds me a lot of Roquan Smith 4 years ago too. The dude's all over the place. Yeah, just
faster. I mean, did you see that one play where he sprinted 45 flipping yards to take out a running back to lose 4? I was like, holy crap. Yeah. Now, Dominic made a comment. Stetson Bennett kind of has a Tom Brady game fit on the field. I do not agree with that. At least Tom Brady shows up every game. Stetson Bennett didn't show up in the SEC. I don't know where the hell he was at. So I don't agree with it. I respect your comment, but I do not agree with Stetson Bennett. I still believe JT Daniels probably should be out there because I feel a pocket quarterback is going to be more of a necessity during an Alabama game. Maybe not necessarily against a Michigan, but I kind of see where you're coming from. But Stetson Bennett has a lot more to prove to really harness in that Tom Brady feel on a field. Tom Brady can march his team down the field and score with down by 14. Stetson Bennett hasn't proven to do that yet.
So, a couple of things on that note, Patrick. Number one, if you know that about Stetson Bennett, then that's on Kirby Smart to make sure that he sticks to the game plan, whatever game plan that he has. If it's to run the football, and make sure you choke out possessions, long possessions, and of course you got to score off of those possessions as well. But the coaching part is where I think, Bama in these games, they just have the edge. We know the story. They were up 10-0. Then Bama hit the big play to Jamison Williams. After that happened, the game plan just went awry. Like I said, Kirby Smart just went he just went brain dead and just said, we just got to throw the ball all over the place. And Stetson Bennett isn't really that guy. Now, I will say this about JT Daniels. To me, there's something deeper there, Patrick. I don't know if I know they brought JT Daniels there, and even I was on the webcast saying maybe they should start JT Daniels for the semifinal. But if they didn't start him in the semifinal, to me, there's something deeper there that they're not. That like he might not have the trust of those players.
He may
And
not, and Stetson does. I agree.
Yeah, and so, hey, this is the guy. This is what we got to work with. Then we got to make sure we have all those other pieces around them. And the team Georgia has built, they can do it. They can win. But Kirby Smart cannot lose his poise. He cannot get in his own way. And like we said before, when you were playing Alabama, your ultimate chess piece master, right, in Nick Saban. Sometimes you have to simplify things. Just don't try to go in here trying to outsmart Nick Saban. Just look at the advantages, look at the schematics. You know, you run the ball well, force Alabama to stop you from running the ball. Don't just go away from it because Alabama has a good run defense. Force them to stop you. And if they have success, all right, whatever. But you have to get attempts going to where you can at least keep them honest, and then maybe you could create play action deep shots to Bowers, the tight end. George Pickens is back healthy as well. It maybe then you can start hitting those big shots because you can throw the ball on Alabama. You just you have to be smart.
You got to get their linebackers down to help cover the box, or even get Cook on a linebacker. Because I mean, you saw what you've seen Cook many games. I know I have. I've seen him many times on a linebacker in any linebacker in any conference. You get a linebacker on Cook, that's a touchdown. Simple as that. I mean, I've seen it with Auburn. I've seen it with Arkansas. I've seen it with Michigan. I've seen it in you name the game.
Yeah.
We even saw it in Alabama.
You got three good running backs.
Yeah.
You got Cook, you got White, and you got McIntosh.
You got to use them.
Yeah.
You got to use them.
Man, okay, so Dominic, he had said, I hate talking about the clothing.
Oh. Okay, I will give you that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried. That's probably what's in his mind. He's like, if I dress like Tom Brady and I smell like Tom Brady and
I can play like Tom Brady
and I have shoes like Tom Brady, then I must be Tom Brady. Well, your ass better win a game. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, biggest game in your adult life.
Right now, as I walk on, dude. This is like one of those epic stories for Stetson Bennett right here. You win this game as a walk-on.
You're gonna shut a lot of people.
You're gonna shut a lot of people up, bro. So do it.
So he's talking about so all right. So Dominic, of course, does not want me to get into the Cowboys because yes, I did see that Michael Gallup injury, and you don't want to see anybody.
He's got his hand on the screen right now, but he doesn't see you. He's like, I don't even want to see.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk to Charles right now.
I know we're going to talk about it, but Dallas plays Philly this week.
Yeah, his two favorite teams. But
hey, I bet if he's a true Dallas fan, he ain't a Philly fan this week.
So Patrick, before we get to that though, we got to get our picks. What do I say today? I had to do that a couple of weeks ago. So
hey, Charles is the new man. Dominic, Charles is the new man. He shaved his head. So
Dominic, if you haven't, I never watch what I say. You'll find that out.
Okay. So let's get these picks in, man. 20 minutes in. So let's get these picks in.
Who you got, man?
You want me to go first?
Yes.
All right. This is what Georgia's been wanting ever since they got embarrassed in Atlanta. This is what they wanted. The reason why they played hard against Michigan, the reason why they dominated both sides of the ball. This is the reason why right here. Here's your second chance. Here's your revenge. Here is your opportunity to slay some demons. Alabama's going to bring it. We all know that. but I'm going to go Georgia. 30-28.
Patrick, I want to pick Georgia so bad.
Hey, dude.
I can't.
The crazy thing is you know the reason why I'm picking Georgia?
Why?
Because they're a fucking team, dude. Believe me, that SEC championship game 2 years ago, that national championship game in 2017, it's haunting me. Everything is saying, pick Alabama, pick Alabama, pick Alabama. But I can't. You know that about me. You know I can. As much as it doesn't matter how bad I want to pick Alabama to win. I won't bet on the game. I gotta go Georgia. So I'm going Georgia. 30-28.
I got you, man. I just I have to see Georgia do it, man. I have to see them slay those demons before I would pick Georgia again, man. I mean, and look, I can't even imagine being a Georgia fan like that. Just constantly just yeah, we're here. Yeah.
I know, believe me. There's only, like I told you, there's only one city that we're matched with, and that's Cleveland.
So look, Georgia, everything you say is right on the money. It really is, because I do feel watching that Michigan game. This was a Georgia team. They looked angry. They looked motivated. They looked hungry. They looked like a team that was embarrassed, and they wanted to get that out of their system.
It looks like they had a whole can of Pringles on their shoulder.
Yeah, a lot of chips on their shoulder, and I do think they're going to come into it the same thing, with that same type of mentality. Obviously, a national championship's on the line, so it's not like they need any more extra motivation. But knowing that they get the team that whooped up on them again, they get another crack on them, another second chance on them. Man, it just has that feel of
Georgia Auburn.
Yeah, like Georgia is finally gonna break through. It has that feeling. I just have to see it to believe it, and I'm gonna go something
Alabama,
close. Like I think it'll be
25.
Huh?
I'd say go Alabama 42-25.
No.
If you did, that would actually be the record of Alabama beating Georgia, because Georgia has been beat by them 41-25 right now. So if you pick 42-25 and they got it, I'd cry.
Nah, dude, it's gonna be close. I think this one is definitely gonna be down to the wire. Excuse me, field goal difference, something like that, man. I think I'll go. Yeah, I think some points will be put up there too, but no. I'm going something along the lines of 27-24 Bama, only because I just have to see Georgia do it. I have to see them do it. Don't get me wrong. I want to see them do it. I absolutely want to see Georgia do this. I want to see the Bulldogs come through and get the no pun intended, the elephant out of the room. I want to see them do it.
There's so much pun intended on that. Don't even lie.
A whole bunch. But Kirby, just if he gets out of his own way, if he comes in with a simplified game plan, run the football, play action pass, don't put Stetson Bennett in these situations where he has to go and throw 45, 50 times. Because if that happens, no, it's going to be another Alabama
blowout.
Yeah. So Kirby has to, and look, you know, Alabama's going to make a play. They're going to make a big play somewhere down the line. That's where Kirby Smart cannot lose his poise. He can't just throw everything out. If Bama hits a big play, okay, cool. You could hit a couple of big plays too. You just have to kind of do it differently. Stay in the context. Don't try to outsmart the chess master. Make him stop you. Make him stop the running game.
Trade pun for pun if you have to.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm at, man. 27-24 Bama is what I got. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I totally hope I'm wrong. So he's like, well, you know what, Dominic, you're right. But you know what I say to that? The other teams need to step up and beat them.
That's what I say. I mean,
Simply put.
It's like this, man. It's boring to watch the same team over and over win when it's not yours.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I would be all about Georgia winning 5 or 6 of them in a row.
Pretty sure you wouldn't mind the Cowboys winning every year.
So, but you know, and it's funny. I mean, it's because you
He's
hear
about to light
everybody.
me up on these comments.
Oh, he's
Go
about
ahead.
to. I'm gonna laugh when he does. But it's funny listening to people. Because I hear it all the time. People worry, man. I'm so tired of watching Alabama win. I was like, well, who's your team? Oh, my team is Ohio State. Okay. Well, what were you tired of it when Ohio State was putting up those championship numbers 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago? Well, no. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not tired of Alabama watching Alabama. See, he's got
Yeah,
he's
I
got
know it.
But hey, I like the score that Dominic put out there, 28-21. I like it. It is going to be a close game. It's going to be a hard fought game, and I do hope Georgia comes out on top on this one and get these demons slayed, because we need to get Nick Saban retired. So a couple of these losses might push him right over the edge, being like, I'm done. So we need him out so that we can actually win, but we got to get him out first. So, but I like the pick, and yeah, I'm ready.
And honestly, Patrick, before we move on, it couldn't happen any other way. Like, if Georgia's going to do it, this has to be the way.
This has to be it. You're going to have to go through Alabama to win.
Exactly.
Yep.
So with that, Patrick, so there's been a lot of discussion, and we hear it every year when it comes to bowl season, and you got all these players, they're opting out, not playing in the bowl games. Of course, we didn't see any opt-outs in the CFP games, whatever. Get it? Whatever. Of course not, right? Because there's still something to play for, apparently. But you got, I saw his comment about the major injury. Let's hope there's not a major injury happening.
No, I need everybody to stay on the field. This is one thing, Dominic, you're going to find out about me, is I want Alabama's best on the field. I don't want a Bryce Young injury. I don't want any of that, because I don't want any effing excuses. I want the best on the field, and I want my team to beat the best. So no injuries.
Yeah, so on either side. So I think when you look at bowl season and you got all the players opting out, you have coaches leaving, you have the comments from Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard. So they had those comments basically saying players don't even care. They don't care anymore. Patrick, I don't know if it's necessarily players don't care anymore as much as it is their priorities have changed.
Yeah, well,
they're more about themselves and looking out for their bottom line. And I think in that regard, they're smartening up on it. Simply put, they see name, image, and likeness out here now, and it sucks because all of a sudden when they don't have nothing to play for, then they're going to just bounce out. It does suck. I don't like any of it. You know me, Patrick. I've always been the person who's just like, man, look, can we that game will be broadcast on ESPN. The Georgia Alabama game, it'll be on ESPN Monday night. Answering Dominic's question there. But I don't like it. I don't like how coaches just bounce out for their $100 million contracts. I get why they do it, but I mean, they're in there.
They have a contract.
Yeah, right.
Like they're in notice, like any regular person.
Right. Like, yo, I care about you, man. We're gonna sit there, we're gonna be the mecca of college football, and then I'm out. $100
Yeah, like
million
next year
contract, I'm
you're out Lincoln Riley.
out. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
we're gonna be the dominant team of the Big 12. USC says, hey, what about this deal over here? All right. Deuces.
Deuces. Private jet. All right.
Private jet.
You know.
Done.
And then you have Kenny Pickett. So Kenny Pickett, of course, the quarterback for Pittsburgh. So he couldn't play in the game. He decided to opt out of the game. But he in the press box with the offensive coordinators and stuff during the game. So I was like, oh, so you could be in the press, you could be with the coaching staff, but you can't play. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
But truthfully, that's not going to change until the coaches change.
Yeah, the coaches are the ones who's got to
same
set the
shit rolls down.
example for everybody, because the coaches are in a position of power, and they're the ones who kind of have to set that example for everybody else. And honestly, Patrick, you're right. I don't think it's going to change at all, but I don't think it's as bad as Kurt Herbstreit and Desmond Howard put it. Like, the players don't care. I just think priorities have changed. We know everybody is about their bottom line.
Yeah.
And if a player thinks they can protect their bottom line better from getting out of a bowl game or opting out of a bowl game, okay, more power to them, I guess. I don't necessarily like it, but I understand why they're doing it. Matt Corral, we saw him get hurt in the Sugar Bowl, and he didn't even have a thought of sitting out that game. He wanted to play. More power to him for wanting to play.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong. Like, people that, they're going to make their decisions. Everybody has their own story. And I can understand if you are frustrated on how everything goes with the opt-outs and stuff. And you and I have always said that too. We're not a big fan of the opt-outs, because if they were in the college football playoffs, they're not opting out. We know they're not opting out. They're going to play. They're going to try to see if they can get this title. And then all of a sudden they're about the team again. But to say they don't care, I think that's a little extreme on Kurt Herbstreit and Desmond Howard's part. And I look, and I like them. I like College Game Day. I like that show. But I think they're a little bit off there. Oh, and to answer your question, Dominic, we haven't really looked at the draft yet, but it does, from what I can see, it's going to be defensive heavy. It looks like there's a lot of people on the defensive line, defensive end, defensive tackle. There's going to be some high draft choices coming in the draft. But I'm not going to act like I had to have all the answers to that yet, Dominic. I'm sorry. I don't.
I will say this, Dominic. We normally don't look at that until after the college season is completely over. And then that's when we start putting our minds and our thoughts on how those drafts are going to go, because it gives us a little bit more to go on. But back on what you were saying, Charles, I agree. I think it's a little bit more. I think that's a little far to go and say that they don't care.
To me.
I would agree with you. I think it's about priorities. I would tell you this: like, if I was a head coach, or if I was in the NFL and I'm drafting people, I'll take an injured person that played in the Sugar Bowl that is, a highly ranked person over a person that opt out, because I personally don't like the opt out. Because what happens at game 17, game 18, or game 16, game 17 of the regular season happens, and we're statistically still in it? Where are you at? Are you going to play, or are you going to opt out because you want to save yourself for the next season? It's just like, and we'll go over it here in a minute, but Baker Mayfield for Cleveland, he's trying to opt out so he can go ahead and get an early start on his surgery. My personal opinion, 1 week doesn't change anything. To me, and if you're about the team, then get your injured butt out there and play. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do it. Now, I get it. I understand he's really not playing for anything, but it doesn't change the fact that how does that? I need to know that you're going to be there 17 games. And then if we go playoffs, you're going to be there. And I'll put my money on somebody that's injured that played in a Sugar Bowl before I put my money on somebody that didn't.
The Baker Mayfield one, like you said, yeah, we're going to get to that here in a little bit, but there's more to that too.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that man needs surgery on like 4 different places.
he probably should not have been playing, honestly.
He shouldn't. And I have to give him credit for that because he did make it 16 games, especially with a thrown out shoulder. God. I mean, the man needs surgery on his shoulder. He needs surgery on his knee. He needs surgery on something else. And I think his hip. I mean, like, he's beat up, but I mean, I can tell you right now, if it was me, I'm throwing the ball for game 17. There ain't no doubt about it. I'm playing. I don't give a crap. I'm playing. Oh, I'm injured. I got a broken arm and a broken leg. You better hope you can stitch that crap up pretty good because I'm playing.
So, I mean, to close it out, man, with the bowls. So we're just kind of in agreement that you feel like priorities have changed. Players have kind of smartened up because coaches do this all the time, and coaches
been doing it for years.
Yeah, and coaches don't get criticized for it like the players do all of a sudden. And I'm like,
I criticize the crap out of them. You know me.
Oh man, I be hitting up the coaches all the time.
I blame the coaches for the reason why the kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're even talking about the quarterback for Oklahoma. He's talking like he's fixing the intertransfer protocol and he wants to go to Georgia.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. On down. You know what I'm saying? But that's another thing, man. It's just like,
speaking of, but you know what? Never mind. No, yeah, because where my man Jonathan at? Where
Jonathan be mad. He'd be like, now you're recruiting in college.
If he goes to Georgia, we won't see him for a year. It will be 2023 before we see him again.
So, Dominic is saying Miami Hurricanes are Arizona Sun Devils.
Shoot, at this point, I go Arizona State Sun Devils. The you's been garbage, man. They're holding on to yester-you.
What was his name?
Watch Key and Peele if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But Miami has a lot of work to do. Now, hey, they got Mario Cristobal there, the coach. I do like that hire. We'll see. Yeah, so we'll see how they go. How they're able to rebuild there. Arizona State, I mean, I don't see them doing too much, man. I don't know. The Pac-12 is one of those things where, okay, so another question. Okay, I'm a Longhorn fan, but right now A&M is better. It's way better.
Right now A&M is better, but I am on a huge claim that Longhorns are going to be ultimately better than A&M. Charles, how many times I've said it? They're going to be good in the SEC. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm sure they will, Patrick. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until
it will be. Actually, I'm telling you, it will be.
Patrick, we can't lose to Kansas. I'm sorry, but
hey, in 2 years we don't have to worry about it.
All right. So, quick NFL review and preview, man. What caught your eyes about the NFL? We'll get to your question in a minute, Dominic.
So there's a couple of games that that really caught my eye. I want to start with Pittsburgh. Last game that Ben Roethlisberger will be playing at Heinz Field. So shout out to Ben Roethlisberger. Huh?
Watch him pull a Brett Favre. Like Ben Roethlisberger looked like a dude who would pull.
No, he needs to go.
He does, but watch him be like, "Oh,
Brett,
man, I'm crying. This is so emotional." and I want to come back. Right?
And then he go play for Seattle. No, I think he's good, man.
I think he's done.
I think he's done, and he knows it. I think I think he knows he's done. Everybody in Pittsburgh knows he's done. Everybody in the NFL knows he's done. Everybody knows he's done. Even the Gatorade bottles are like, look, I'm not even going to put Gatorade in your mouth anymore, bro. You're done. That's it. The benches are going to start moving so that he can't sit down. Seriously, everybody knows they're done. Shout out to Ben Roethlisberger. He had a great career. So hopefully he doesn't play anywhere else.
We'll answer Dominic's question real quick, and then we'll continue with the NFL. I'm going Michigan State right now. Now I think Dominic is a Penn State fan, so
that's the only reason why you're going Michigan State.
No, it really isn't. Michigan State right now is better than them. They really are. Penn State, they're okay. I mean, they can get some stuff going, man. I'm really not trying to make you upset, Dominic, but I do think Michigan State is better right now. Sorry. He's gonna. Sorry. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Back in the NFL. Sorry.
Shout out to Cincinnati for winning their division and beating a very, very tough Kansas City team. Mac Jones being Mac Jones, throwing up 50 points. Dang. I mean, granted, it was against Jacksonville, and I know that, but still, I mean, hey, it just goes to show that if you're going to win those big games that you need to win, it just proves that these Jacksonville games you're supposed to win, you got to go and win them. That's all that means. And so, shout out to that. I know we're fixing to get on this game right here in just a second, but Tampa Bay for their big comeback to the Jets, who were actually playing really well that entire game. Philadelphia beating the WTFs. Rams putting a close down on Baltimore. That was pretty good. And there was one more. Oh, Green Bay slaughtering Minnesota.
Hey, yeah, Minnesota's dead. Minnesota needs to go ahead. They need to start over. Mike Zimmer needs to go. Kirk Cousins needs to go. All of them need to go. Minnesota.
Everybody needs to go in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. Start reset. Cincinnati's win. I mean, they came in there and I mean they were behind by 2 scores on multiple occasions, and they just continued to come through. And Joe Burrow, that dude's nice. Nice.
He played well, but you got to give a lot of credit to Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, absolutely.
Jamar Chase, man, that kid is flipping fast.
He's going to be offensive rookie of the year.
God,
yeah.
He caught that one pass that was 79 yards. He caught that flat-footed, and then just literally turned his right foot, dug it in, and was gone. He was out. I was like, that kid is fast.
So let's see. I mean, you basically pointed out all those games, man. Except for one. We gotta talk about Arizona. We gotta do it. We gotta talk about Arizona.
I mean, I didn't really look at that game too much because Dallas had already wrapped up their division.
Yes, they wrapped up the NFC East, and good on them for wrapping up the NFC East. Yeah. First of all, Dominic. All right, so he had pointed out the Michael Gallup injury. Look, man, we ain't trying to see anybody get hurt. We take no joy on seeing anybody getting hurt, and especially tearing an ACL or anything like that. We want to see these guys play and have long careers, no matter who they play for, no matter who we don't like. That's not what we're about here. We're not trying to see anybody get hurt.
And we don't wish anybody get hurt. We want to see the best on the field every single week.
Every single week. Injuries happen. Unfortunately, it is part of the game. And, I did see the play where Michael Gallup got hurt, man. I mean, he hurt himself catching a touchdown pass. And when, he went down, I said, he might have messed his knee up because it was one of those non-contact injuries. And those are always kind of the worst ones where you just kind of plant and then something just kind of goes the wrong way and then you tear a ligament, man. So
those are the ones that hurt the worst too.
Yeah.
God, I pulled a groin muscle, and I did that. What was I doing? God, I think I pulled a groin muscle getting out of my car one time. I mean, the door didn't even hit me or anything. I pulled that thing and I hit the ground. I was like, dang, I much have been kicked in the balls.
Right. Yeah. And you're just like, dude, what did I do? Man, I just moved a certain way. It was bad. Yep. So, yep. That's what I said, Dominic. I said he tore his ACL. So, I said he tore his ACL. So, I mean, look, I feel like, look, he's gone for the year. And that's a weapon.
That's a big loss for them.
Yeah. I mean, they still have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Cedric Wilson has stepped up. But to me, playing Arizona, I said he tore his ACL. And the ACL's in the knee anyway, Dominic. Come on now. Are you really going to sit here and try to be, are we going to be that specific with it?
God, dude, is this what you get to enjoy when I'm arguing with people?
I mean, okay. What's going on, Will?
What's up, man? Yeah. You're missing a good argument.
But all right. I mean, okay. Tell me this, Dominic. Where is the ACL located? It's part of the knee, right? I'm just asking. So, just asking. But look, all kidding aside, not trying to see anybody get hurt. Arizona beating Dallas, though. I'll finish it. Trust me. Trust me, I'll finish. But look, you got Arizona coming in, and again, and Dominic's gonna get mad at me some more. But oh well. I mean, we're already on the path now. Dallas faces a decent team, and again, they get beat. It's just that simple. I get it. Everybody was all about the Cowboys beating up on the WTFs and beating up on the Giants. I get it. Everybody was on that train. But look, when Dallas plays good or decent teams, they struggle. Dak Prescott struggles. And this isn't me trying to throw any dirt on them. This is what you see. This is on the field.
Truthfully, my personal opinion on Dallas as a whole, Dak Prescott's not your man. He's not. It was like Tony Romo. He's not your man. The team that Dallas has is a really good team, managed by somebody that cannot manage all of those weapons. You need somebody that is of the caliber of Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, somebody like that, and that team would be dominant. Dak Prescott is not your man. And truthfully, he's going to be the one that holds you back from getting a Super Bowl. Personal opinion.
Yes, I'm aware the 49ers. Yeah, you know what? We lost to them twice. I'm not bothered. So Arizona beat us twice. I get it. Hey, it's cool, but I'm not the one pushing San Francisco for the Super Bowl either. So I'm just like, hey, look, let's go on. Let's take it week by week and let's go. Yes, hey, look, I get it, Dominic. You're right. 49ers got beat by Arizona twice. Yes. But recently, 2 days ago, y'all were the ones who got beat by Arizona. It's a what have you done for me lately league. Last time I checked. So what do you have?
As much as you say that, Charles, they still keep up with the record. And that,
yeah, of course. Of course they do. I know.
I agree, Parker. What they need to do is they just need to go rugby rules.
So, what are you looking forward to this week, Patrick?
There's only like 3 or 4 games that I'm really interested in. Obviously, the teams that have been eliminated from playoff contention has lost my interest. But the biggest game, a couple of biggest games that I want to see is that Dallas Philadelphia game. Obviously, they both already clinched to go into the playoffs, but it's kind of more of a seeded thing for Philadelphia. Pittsburgh Baltimore. That's a game that is probably going to be one of them that I watch the most, as well as the what's the other one? I think it's the Chargers and
Raiders.
Chargers and Raiders. So that's another one that's going to be something I watch. Other than that, well, the Rams and the 49ers, because 49ers gotta win if they want to get that third spot.
So Dominic is probably the biggest Rams fan there is coming up next week.
Probably.
He would love to come in here next week and be like,
Rams. Those 49ers. I hope they beat the absolute shit out of them.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well,
but those are the games I'm looking for. Rest of them are either have been already contended or already seeded into the playoffs. I mean, Green Bay. I think Green Bay. Who does Green Bay have? I can't even think of who Green Bay has. But they're already division winners with the best record. So it's really not even that a good of a game to me, because one team's already been eliminated and the other one team's already in the playoffs. So it's really about those couple of games that are playoff contenders. And then you also got the New England Miami game, and then you got the Buffalo game. So to see who wins their division as well as best record in conference. So that's the only games I'm really interested in.
you know it's coming, of course. So well, Patrick, I'm with you with all those games, man. And the main ones are those two: 49ers and Rams, Chargers and Raiders. You got the most on the line. When you're in, Rams can clinch the NFC West and the number 2 seed, and then the Chargers and Raiders is a win in your in scenario. And so you just give them oh yeah, and then the Raiders winning in Indianapolis. I don't know if you hit that on the review, but that was
I didn't. That was impressive. They played well.
Yes. Did not see that one coming myself. Give it props to the Raiders there, but
they played a flawless game. Do you realize they only had 1 penalty that entire game?
I know, man, and they overcame 2 Derek Carr interceptions too to continue to win that bad boy.
1 penalty. And I think the penalty was a encroachment for 5 yards. 1 penalty for 5 yards the entire game. They played flawless. To me, that is a flawless game.
Well, Patrick, look, we got a couple of segments to jump in. Let's spend a few minutes on them. Let's start off with the Baker Mayfield thing. We had touched on it earlier. I think you and I are pretty much in agreement here. But I think with Baker Mayfield, I mean, dude hurt his shoulder in week 2. I get it with the toughness and trying to be out there for the team, but sometimes you know how it goes. Sometimes you have to protect the player from himself.
Yeah.
And it was getting to the point where Baker Mayfield was not helping the team. He was.
Well, that should be a coach's decision.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it comes from.
What I'm saying from that whole situation is if I'm in Baker Mayfield's shoes, I'm telling you right now, I'm playing. And the only way that I'm going to be told that I'm not is if the coach tells me, no, you're not going in. But I will tell you, I'll suit up and I'll be ready to go. To me, that's my job. That's my profession. I understand that, one false move can end your entire career. But to me, I want to play. I want to be out there, and that's just me. You know what I mean? But I leave that up to the coach to make that decision to protect me from myself. Other than that, I'm not protecting me from myself. I'm going out to play. I'm going to compete. That's who I am. I am a competitor. regardless of what I'm doing. You even see me. I strive to be the best networking engineer I could possibly be. And I tell you, I network around people all the time. And I tell you what, I'm going to school to be better. So I'm competitive, dude. I mean, hell, the only thing I'm going to lose at is a hair growing contest. Obviously, I'm going to lose at that. That's it.
Yeah, it was, yeah, players want to play. Absolutely. You want to go out there, you want to be there with your guys. I'm with you with Kevin Stefanski. I don't understand why you kept on running him out there when he's throwing 3-4 interceptions again. He's not the same. He's not he's not helping. And sometimes the toughness kind of gets in the way. I saw his comment. Yeah. And so yeah.
And I'd catch it, I'd peel it, eat it, and tell him to throw another one.
Right. So but yeah, look, what I don't understand is how, look, Baker Mayfield, if you're trying to ask me a question of do I think he is the man? No, I don't think so. I never really looked at Baker Mayfield as this gotta have quarterback. Never looked at him that way. I think things have to be around him for him to succeed, just like a lot of the other quarterbacks out there. There's only a few where you're like, hey, if I got this dude, I got a shot. Well, Baker Mayfield, you need all those other pieces around him. And if they're not, then you're probably going to struggle because he's going to think he can make these plays and he just simply can't. So I don't think he's that guy, but you can win with Baker Mayfield. And for people to say they're ready to like get him out of town, basically, like, well, goodness, man, Cleveland, y'all just made the playoffs last year for the first time in almost 2 decades.
And that was on
now
the
y'all ready to
shoulder,
run him out of
on the
town?
shoulders of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Give me a break. No, Cleveland got to go back. Look, just retool, run the football. You have Nick Chubb. Hopefully you get Kareem Hunt back. Run the football. Play to your strengths. Get you another receiver. Whatever you got to do. The defense is good. Cleveland's fine, but just look, you can't continue to overhype these dudes. They were not, Cleveland is getting hyped to go to the Super Bowl. You'll ask for more oranges and they get full.
Yeah, I just have to start dodging while I'm on the field.
That's it, man.
Hey, look, he only has a limited amount of oranges, and I can run faster than him throwing those oranges. He's a whole fat dude. Just remember that too.
All right. Oh, all right, Patrick. Well, let's get to this.
One more
topic, man. Antonio Brown. My goodness. So we got to be kind of quick on this one. I think there's something deeper there, Patrick. And now, but look, both of us, we talk about how much of a clown he's been, and a lot of the stuff he does is, it's self-inflicted. No doubt about it. I think there's something deeper going on, man. I think there's probably a little bit more of a mental issue that's going on with him. And if Tom Brady's going to come out and say, man, look, maybe we should have a little bit more compassion toward him, for what's going on with them, I think that kind of speaks volumes there. And so for me, I think this is more about Antonio Brown. I think this is just how I feel. I'm not saying this is gospel by any means, but I think there is something a little bit deeper there. I think if there's the resources out there for him to kind of talk to somebody, maybe get a little bit of counseling, I think he should do that. It's hard to give him the benefit of the doubt when he comes out and he says, man, I had an ankle injury, but you're running out of the stadium doing jumping jacks in the end zone on your way out. Does it look like somebody who has an ankle injury? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So that's where I'm at with that one, man. But and then Terry Bradshaw. his comments. He's basically like, yeah, man, put him in a straitjacket. And like, dude, come on, Terry.
Well, Terry Bradshaw has mental issues too.
Terry be slurring speech a lot now too.
He'd be slurring speech. I wouldn't say he's got a mental issue. I mean, he played a lot of football. He has suffered a lot of head injuries, and sometimes that man doesn't have a filter. Something like this. Let's calm down before you criticize something. You don't know what Antonio Brown's going through.
Exactly.
Let's go on the thing that we always say. Yes, they're football players, but first they're human beings. Let's calm down. Let's see what his problem is first. But let's be honest. He shouldn't have done what he did. No, you don't. First of all, if there is a problem, you handle that in the locker room. I did a shorty on this about a month and a half back. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. And I'm a huge agreement to that. Take that back to the locker room. You figure it out. And that's that. You know what I mean? And if you decide that you don't want to play for Tampa anymore, then you part your ways. Don't do this on the field. I don't care what kind of issues you're having with your family or if Tom Brady's sleeping with your wife. I don't care. You handle that in the locker room where it needs to be handled, not out on the field. But at the end of the day, he did what he did. I can tell you right now from a personal standpoint, if I was in any coaching position, he would never play for my team. And I honestly think that this is probably his last days in the NFL.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown, honestly, man, I feel like he's lucky to be even playing in the NFL anyway. Honestly,
truthfully, yes, yeah.
Especially after all the stuff that came out, and then the drama that happened, and with the Raiders, didn't even play a game there, and had all that drama happen, and then
one game he played for New England, and then all that drama happened.
Yeah, so sometimes you just kind of humble yourself. And I think a lot of times also he kind of looks at himself as the victim, and like, nah, dude, you're kind of messing yourself up, man.
Yeah,
like you're trying to get fake vaccination cards. I mean, come on, dude.
But I have to be honest with you, I'm with him on that one.
Well, I don't, because all right, I understand your stance on it, man. Are you gonna go get a fake vaccination card?
No, I just claim myself as trans vaccinated.
Okay.
I ain't got no point in it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have doctor's reasons why I'm not getting it as well. But no, I consider myself trans vaccinated, and I'm associated as somebody that is fully vaccinated.
All right, immunized. Got you. We'll go with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just going with anybody that says that they associate themselves as a man or a woman, and they're a different gender. We have to accept them for who they are, so accept me for who I am. I'm trans vaccinated.
Terminology here. Well, look, it looks like. Oh, okay, got each other back. All right, so on that note, we're gonna wrap it up here. So that would do it. That's what we're breathing on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Y'all make sure y'all go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. I think the shorties will come back next week. We're still kind of trying to get on the swing of things for this new year, so I know I probably won't do a shorty this week.
I'll see what I can do. Charles, did we lose you again? Get faster internet speeds. Anyway, Dominic, I like that the comment you said. I'm gonna have to be faster than a streaker at Super Bowl 55.
It'll probably be my first year.
What'd you say?